Archimedes went outside the circle to find the value of pi. Let's go inside the circle to see if we could come up with an answer. We're going to look at the 2-inch diameter circle. And did you know that inside of every circle is an equilateral triangle? We're going to look at half of that equilateral triangle attached to 120 degrees of the circumference. That's 1/3 of the circumference. It goes with the 120 degree back lateral of the equilateral triangle. We're going to focus starting with the adjacent. The square root of 0.75 is the value of length. If we take that number and divide it by our opposite 1.5, then multiply it by the square root of 3, it will equal the radius of the circle we're in. Okay, and you'll see if you do the math, 1, that's our radius. Now we know our radius, we can take our opposite height, 1.5, multiply it by our radius, 1, and divide by 100. That's going to tell us where 0.8660254 degrees is on our circumference. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with the diameter. 1.5 times 2, divide by 100, and it'll tell you where 1.732050876 degrees is. And the reason that we divide by 100 is because there's a 100 difference between the measurement 1.8 and 180 degrees, or example 0.45 and 45 degrees, right? We move the decimal place over tenths, hundredths. So if you do the math, and you'll see that 1.732050876 degrees is at 0.03 inches. Okay, so if we divide that by 1.732050876, it'll tell us where 1 degree is. And that math is 0.01732050876. Now we know where 1 degree is. All we got to do is multiply by 360. When you multiply that number by 360, you'll see you get the answer, 3.1176914,536. And there we just found pi by just using half the equilateral triangle and 1/3 of the circumference. And this will be on a 1 to 1.2 ratio. So all we got to do is multiply this leg by 1.2, and it'll tell us the third of the circumference of the circle.